Okay, welcome to another lesson, and today we are going to learn how to do an array command, but we're going to do a polar array, which basically means arraying an object in a circle. I'm going to show you guys an example of what we're going to work on today. Let me drag it over here. So you can see here, this is a saw motor flywheel, and we're going to use the array command, and we're going to build one of these little fin blades, and we're going to array it 24 times in a circle. And then I'm going to teach you guys the scale command as well, and how to override the dimensions text when we do scale. So here's our example of what we're going after. It's a circle with a diameter of 6, not a radius. Make sure you guys got 6. Our fin blades are spaced 15 degrees apart. They're 0.0625 inches thick, and they're 3 inches long, and they're half an inch off the center of our circle. So if I go over here to our AutoCAD web app mobile version, you can see I've opened up my Imperial drawing template. I'm going to start by drawing the circle first. So select the circle command. And I want to do a layer in white. It'll contrast against our template a little bit. So layer, I'll just use a white color. Circle, I'm going to draw it here in space because I'm going to show you how to scale it and move it in to our 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper or our template here in a second. So we'll just get started here. So this is going to be 6. That was a radius of 6, not a diameter. Let me try that again. Circle command, radius of 3 will give us a diameter of 6. Okay. Now I need to build my fin blade. So what I need to do is come over here and I'll build my fin blade in space. And I'm just going to use the rectangle command. And if I do the dynamic input, the width of it was 0.0625. And before I hit enter, I'll tab over and I'll make the length 3. Enter. And now we have our fin blade. But I need to position that fin blade somewhere. So let's look back at our example. The fin blade is positioned 0.5, and that dimension runs down to the edge of one of the fin blades. Because it's a circle, this distance is the same as this distance. So I can come back here and I can go just do a construction line. I can grab the center of our circle and go up half an inch, 0.5, enter and escape. And now I know that the end point of this line is where I need to place the center of this fin blade. So what I'll do is I'll use the move command and I'll move this into place. Move. It asks me to specify the base point. Well, the base point is center, so I need to go to the midpoint of that object. And now I have it and I'm dragging it. And I'm going to drop it right on the end point of that line right there. And I have one fin blade in place. And I need to do 24 more. So the circle array or the polar array is done like this. Let me show you guys. We're going to come over here to the Draw tab, and we're going to select the Array button. It's asking us to select the objects that we want to array. I'm going to select the one fin blade and hit Enter. Now it's asking us rectangular, a path, or a polar. I'm going to click Polar. And now we need to find the base point for where we want to array this around. I'm going to click Base Point, and it's already centered up. So I learned by trial and error, and I'm going to show you guys how to make sure that you get the base point to circle the circle in the direction we want. You have to come up to the top of your object and make sure you grab the midpoint that's centered. And I'm going to drag it down to the center of our circle, which is the end point of that line. And click, and it showed up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ones, but we want 24 of them. So in the prompt now, it's asking us a bunch of different things. I will select items, and I will type in 24 and hit enter, and that should fill it in nicely. That does. Okay, that's good. So now our flywheel pretty much resembles our example. So that wasn't too bad. Now the hard part is adding these dimensions and then scaling it. So let's go through that a little bit. We want to add dimensions. We'll come over here to annotate and we'll click on the dimensions. This is our first introduction to dimensioning our models. So here we go, dimension, and this just says select objects to specify. So if we come over here and we get close to that edge, well, that dimension style is a little bit big, so I want to go a little bit smaller, and you can change that by going to properties. Dimension style was 1/2 inch. I want that to be more like decimal 0.2 of an inch. So change it to 0.2 dimension style, come back to dimension, and that looks a little bit better. And then once you click, you can drag your dimension out here and just drop it right there. So that looks good. Now we need to do the degrees between. If I click the dimension command again, I can click on angular, and it says select the arc, circle, or line. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to dimension from this line down to this line, and it gives me a 15 degrees separation there. That's the angle between the two. Let's check, does it match our example? Yep. 6 is the diameter, 15 degrees in between each blade. Let's go back to our model, and I want to dimension the fin blade. So I'll select that again, and this time I'm just going to come over to the end, and I'm going to click on the end point of that one to the top of it and drag the witness lines out and drop it, and 0.0625, yep, that matches our model. Okay, now we need to do the length of the fin blade, and I will click dimensions, and I will come over here to the end of it, and I will run out to the other end and select that endpoint, and I'll just simply drag it up and drop it. Now in this case, a lot of times you don't like to drag your witness lines over your model. You like to leave them to the outside like the dimension is, and the angular dimension and the width is on the outside, but we have no way of grabbing that witness line anywhere else than what it is, so we're gonna have to leave it there. Now I want to dimension the distance between the center of our circle and the start of our fin blade. So we can come back and grab the dimension tool again, and I will go center of circle to the edge of that one. It should be 0.5. Yep, it is. And I will drag this one up out of the way and drop it somewhere kind of nice and neat right there. Is that all of our dimensions? Let's check. We have our spacing there, 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 there. Okay, that looks good. Now, I want to put it inside of my sheet of paper. So let's do the move. Let's do the move button. We'll do the move command. We'll grab all of our objects, hit enter. We'll specify our base point as the center of our drawing. And if I scroll out and drag this in here, it looks like it's cramped. It doesn't fit fully on our piece of paper, right? So we need to scale this down a little bit. So I'll just drag and drop it right there. So to scale this down, we are going to come over here and click on the scale button in the modify tab, just like that. And then I'm going to grab all of my objects and push enter to select them all, specify my base point for the scaling right there. And then you can see it's on the rubber band effect, just like our line command and circle commands, and most of our commands can stretch back and forth, but we're going to type in, we want to scale it to 0.8 of the original size, so I'll just type in 0.8 and hit enter, and you see that dragged it down to be a little bit smaller, and now it looks like we can fit in. However, look at what happened. The dimensions changed. So we need to override those dimensions, and to do that, we can click on one and type in the word text, and you can see text edit comes up, and it says any modifications will remove all formatting and stylization. That's fine, because we want our dimensions to be right. 0.0625. And I'll click enter. Our degrees didn't change at all. Let's make our dimension over here. Text edit. make this one 6.0003 decimals. Enter. Let's change this to 3. I gotta highlight it and type in the text edit. Once it comes up, I can click on it. And I'll change this one to 3.3 decimal places. And that one I didn't need to get out of the command. I was still in the command, so I was able to select it. This one's going to be 0.5000 and check. And now we have it correctly dimensioned and it's scaled, and I think it might fit in there now. Let's see. So let's do our move button again. We'll select all of our items, hit enter, select our base point, just like that. And I will drag this flywheel into our model, and it looks like it is going to fit. We can play with some of those dimensions just a little bit, and we can bring those down into the model to fit a little bit better. We can drag the whole thing over a little bit. By clicking on the grips, which are the blue buttons. Okay, that one's in there, and now that looks good. Okay, so that's how you do the polar array, the dimensioning, and the scale. 3 new commands you guys learned today. Hope this helps.